Christmas is a time for telling stories, for repeating those stories that are dear to our heart and that speak to us in the depths of our heart. So I would like to tell you one of my favorite stories, which you may have heard before. It concerns a president of the United States by the name of Thomas Jefferson. But at the time of the story, he was only vice president. One day, Jefferson went to check into the best hotel in Baltimore. But he wasn't dressed up in a suit. He was dressed in dirty farmer's clothes because he was coming in from the fields where he loved to work. Back in those days, they didn't have photography, and they certainly didn't have the internet, and so people didn't really know what other people looked like. The hotel owner did not realize that it was the vice president. He just saw a dirty farmer standing in front of him. So he turned him away and said there was no more room at the hotel. Vice President Jefferson found another hotel pretty quickly. But when this hotel owner discovered what a mistake he had made, that he had turned away the Vice President of the United States, he was horrified. He sent out his servants to find Mr. Jefferson immediately and offer him as many rooms as he wanted in the hotel. Thomas Jefferson said to the servants, "Tell him that I very much value his good intentions, but if he has no room for a dirty farmer, then he shall have no room for the vice president." With that story, I have often wondered what the innkeeper in Bethlehem would have done had he realized who it was he was telling that there was no room at the inn. If he realized that this was the Holy Family, that this child to be born on his property was the long-awaited Messiah, what would this man have done? We can suppose that Bethlehem innkeepers are probably not much different from Baltimore innkeepers. He would have sent everyone out to look for this couple and to say, "Please come back. You can have any room you want." But I think that innkeeper has gotten a bum rap. I have always felt sorry for the poor guy. He didn't turn these poor people out onto the street. He gave them the best he had, which happened to be the corner of a stable. But he provided them with a warm place. And knowing what we know now about the subsequent life of Jesus, I think it was good and appropriate so. Because later in Jesus' life, we see that he did not really feel at home among the rich and famous. He didn't feel at home among the great people of church and state and society. He didn't feel at home in big fancy palaces and mansions. He felt much more at home when he was among the simple folk, the poor people, the outcasts of society, the big sinners everybody looked down upon. This is where he felt at home. And so, yes, it was appropriate that he come into this world in the most humble of circumstances. Besides that, if the innkeeper had known who it was seeking shelter for the night and wanted to give them the best of his rooms, he would have had to kick out some other poor family who was already in those rooms. And neither Mary nor Joseph nor Jesus would have liked that. It was indeed appropriate for Jesus to be born in the humblest of places, in the poorest of circumstances. It was there that he found a home, and it is there that he still finds a home. It is not the fanciness of the home that matters, but rather the warmth of heart found there. That is what Jesus was looking for. We are all innkeepers. We have rooms and room for so much in our life. Sometimes our lives become so filled, in fact, that we think we have no room left for the most important thing of all. Perhaps it is time then to step away from all the trite and fancy and time-consuming things we have cluttered our life with, and retreat into that cozy, quiet place, be it a stable or a chapel or a secret place deep inside our heart. It is there, in the warmth and the stillness, that we may worthily welcome the greatest gift of all.